Hey guys, this is Paul, Dr. Nacho, talking with two amazing dental students who are looking to change how we learn in dental school, something that we all remember the challenges that we had, especially with things like dental anatomy. So I'm so thrilled to be talking with Jules and Cole, founder of Modal. Love the name already. So I want to check in with them and find out, what is Modal, Cole, and what do you guys do to help dental students learn?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having us. We appreciate it, Paul. We're looking forward to speaking with you and talking about our company. We always enjoy talking to anybody about it and sharing what Modal is. So Modal is a 3D presentation software that's designed for use in live classroom lecture formats that delivers a dual dynamic learning environment to both students and professors at the same time. So professors are giving lectures in 3D while the students are simultaneously engaging with that 3D content. They're manipulating the image, they're highlighting, adding text, taking notes, whatever they need to do to make that lecture more efficient and more effective.
I love it. And, I know you guys had started this company prior to pandemic, but Jules, this sounds like this is very like Dental Nachos, pandemic focused. Prior to the pandemic, I was live streaming my CE courses because I said, hey, if 20 people are there in person, why don't I let hundreds of people watch in at home? And we did that well before the pandemic. But finally, it took a pandemic for people to be like, I want to learn about this. So it sounds like with dental students learning more from home, that really is a good fit. Tell me a little more about that.
Right. So I always love to say that we're built by students for students because we came up with this idea our first year of dental school. We were learning dental anatomy. We were trying to learn from these 2D structures. It was really difficult. It was like learning a new language. So we started developing this idea of like learning with 3D concepts in the classroom. And then when the pandemic hit, all of a sudden, everyone is learning virtually. Everyone's in these Zoom classes. It's really hard to engage, and it's hard for teachers to engage with students in that way. So we got our start. We introduced Modal to the classroom for the first time, and students just loved it. So it's been that feedback that's really been pushing us forward and keeping us going.
I love that. Now, my grandmother was right. I am the most interesting person in the world, also most handsome. But if someone stopped watching in now and they wanted to reach out to you, we're going to talk more. How could they reach out to you guys and learn more about what Modal does, Jules?
We have a website, modal3d.com. Please go. We have a demo. You can see how our software works in action. And also our emails are on there. Please get in touch. We love talking to people. We love learning from people in the industry, dental and medical. So we'd love to chat.
Awesome. Now, I want to tell a story. I don't want to scare you guys, but when I was a D4 at Penn, we still actually use phones attached to the wall. Not a joke. I would call my friend on the phone to write a text message. It was a whole process of typing out the ABC. You guys don't know that world, but tell us, in this Modal world, Cole or Jules, like you were telling me about a picture that a dental instructor would put up that someone had drawn. Tell me how we can take it from the phone on the wall to the text message and learning so that it's more fun, more powerful, and impacts more people.
Yeah, so what we do is we take the content from our clients. So let's say a professor has, one specific anatomical feature that they, think is very important or is different from maybe some other, institution or model that they find online. We can take that model, we can scan it, and we create a 3D model customized to their content and their presentation. So we're delivering value to, say, customized content for the professors, and at the same time, as a student, which, we design this by students for students. So as a student, when you're studying for your test and you're, preparing for the images that are going to be on your test, the content on there, you're not on Google Image spending hours on hours or other apps trying to find that one image, which maybe if you do find it, it is wrong. It's not according to what the professor said. So we're delivering all that value into one package, bringing everything into one software.
I love that. I mean, Jules, it sounds like one of my favorite things, scaling help, right? I'm trying to do this in a variety of ways, whether it's connecting people for jobs, whether it's just feeling I'm more part of a community with Dental Nachos. Because if we can't, I mean, Gary Vee is one of my favorite people, scaling the unscalable. If just one random instructor who's tech savvy has this one random thing, it only helps that one class. So it sounds like you guys can create a library to do that. Tell me how I'm a big fan of test, don't guess, strive to test things out. Who's using this now? And what's some of the feedback you've gotten?
Yeah, so we piloted this for the first time in the classroom with over 300 students. We started with dental anatomy because that's what we think is, for first year dental students, one of the hardest things to learn. And students were so in love with the idea that you can rotate objects on your own in the classroom. You can see, for all the dentists out there, the mesial, the distal, the buccal, the lingual of the same image. And so think about how this is going to work for operative, occlusion, all these concepts where you're a first year dental student, you're trying to learn how the Krebs cycle works, and you've also got to learn this whole new thing. It's too much.
Yes. Right. And the Krebs cycle has helped me out precisely 0 jams, but anatomy is key. I mean, we're having a great course come up by this world-class composite guru, Dr. Jason Smithson, the class 4 composite. So I'm not against all the some of the things we learned in dental school are very helpful. The problem is I find that we just don't get to prioritize what's helpful or not. And I just like how the kidney works is not an everyday thing, but restoring a class 4 is. I just think prioritizing learning is great, and students can do that on their own. I don't want to brag, but I have a very prominent cusp of Carabelli. So if you want to use me as a model, that's actually totally true. At Penn, when we were cleaning each other's teeth, the perio resident came over and said, "Man, you have a really nice cusp of Carabelli." So I'll be glad to be a anatomy model.
You're a lucky man there.
Yeah. I'll show it off. I'll show off my models now. What are you guys doing? Tell us. What I think is really awesome is, you're founding a company, doing this while you're dental students, right? So tell me, what do you have planned for next year, Cole? And how are you going to fit Modal into your life while you also fit in growing as a dentist?
Yeah, so that was one of the biggest decisions that Jules and I both faced is our clinical skills are extremely important to us. And we're trying to do not really a 1 and number 2 thing. We're trying to do a 1 and 1A sort of thing. And I decided to pursue a GPR at the San Diego VA.
Awesome.
So I'm fortunate enough to be able to go back home to Southern California and get out of the cold weather. It's currently 20 degrees outside or something here in Philadelphia. And I'm looking forward to the 70 degrees in San Diego, and life will be good.
Temperature fluctuates between 68 to 72. That must be a rough existence there.
It's tough. It's tough.
I mean, one of the things the pandemic has taught me too, Jules, and I have 2 small insane children that live in my house. I really am glad I became a dentist. It's fit into my life. But one of the things the pandemic has shown me is that if your job, you have to be in front of people to make money, there's risk associated with this because we had this pandemic. So I think it's awesome that, and whether you're a dentist, you might, I'm going to be speaking at this dentist side gigs event coming up soon, which is cool. Brokers, consultants, things like that. I think it's great to explore their avenues. Jules, now you're going to insert a denture this year, and then you're just going to say bye dentures. Tell us why. Why are you going to be done with dentures?
So I'm starting a pediatric residency next year. I think that comes from part of my passion for Modal, as well as I think teaching and educating, starting with our young students and learners, is so important to me. And one of the things that I love most about dentistry, Paul, which you can appreciate as well, is that there is so much space for entrepreneurship in this area. It's not just doing fillings, right? There is so much space here for creativity like yourself. And so, that's the same passion that we have for Modal.
Yeah, I think that's what we should encourage more of that in any profession. I know things we do at Dental Nachos, you do at Modals, we can apply to other professions too. But it's a different world than 40 years ago, or even when I went to dental school, where you can have one main job, but also do these interesting things, not even on the side. Like you said, 1 and 1A is a great way to put that. Awesome. So as we wrap up, share with me, Cole, if you could do one thing to improve, grow. If you wanted someone listening out there, usually we have 1 million people watching it at once, but maybe just like 500,000 today. But tomorrow we'll get 1 million. But if this goes viral, don't know what that means, but if it does go viral and say, hey, this is what I would like people to know about Modal and how they might be able to spread the word, what would that be, Cole?
Yeah, so our goal is to redefine education for students and professors and really bring the outdated presentations and lecture classroom format into the future. So we can be reached at modal3d.com. Our emails are on there. And we're always looking for people that know what they're doing, have experience with entrepreneurship. We're both young, early 20s. Actually, I'm late 20s now, unfortunately. But anyone that knows what they're doing, wants to get involved financially, mentorship, or we're just always looking to build a network with educators, administrators, faculty. We just love to connect with the dental network. So
awesome. Appreciate
anyone reaching out and appreciate you speaking with us today.
Thanks for feeling bad. You're in your late 20s. I'm 43. We didn't even have Uber when I was your age. No Uber at all. Now, Jules, I'm a big fan of history. I love being here in Philadelphia. Paul Revere, love that story. Great book, Never Eat Alone, is a great book to read. It has a Paul Revere story in there. The Paul Revere story is so interesting, right? So we think this guy rode on this horse and just started yelling the British were coming, but he was a classic connector. It It was because the relationships he had, they let him go in some sort of tower because he knew the person to turn on a light. So I love that story because that, whether it's the founding fathers till now, it's always about sharing stories. So like, who are the people at these schools? If someone heard this interview and said they should tell someone at this school that Modal exists, who would that be for them, Jules?
So one of the best things about dentistry as well is it is such a small, small world. We feel so lucky to have met such amazing people. I don't want to say, you know, hey, Mr. Dean of such and such school, reach out to us. If you know anybody, it's such a small world, so many connections. We're happy to touch base, but administrators, teachers, we want to help your students. So we would love to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, I love talking to you guys. Reach out. Tell me one more time, Cole, what's the best website for people to check out?
Yeah, it's modal3d.com.
Awesome, guys. Well, really love your guys' energy. Good luck with next year. We'll keep connecting. Dental Nacho Universe. Keep watching out for Modal. Love the name. I'm dressed here just like out of that movie, Talladega Nights here. A lot of nacho. This happens on a dad. You just wake up, you don't even know what you put on. So this will happen to you one day, Cole. And you'll remember these times where you are able to work on stuff outside of dentistry. I love that message, whether it is real estate, whether it's an investment, whether it's just another skill you want to develop. I think that's great. So thanks so much for being on with us, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Yeah, greatly appreciate it.